position.
Oh, Kissay! It is time again for everyone's favorite segment, Menulog Meal Time, here on the LCO delivered by Menulog. You guys in chat, menu pogs in the chat, win that $30 voucher, or at least go into the running for it. I saw a couple of people last week actually won, ordered their dins, posted pics on the Twitter sphere as well. We could potentially source those in terms of find them, not actually put tomato sauce on them, or your select type of sauce. I know some people aren't that fond of tomato sauce. Either way, well, you guys win $30. Let's have a chat about what we're having tomorrow for brekkie.
Brekkie?
Yeah, breakfast.
I mean, I have the same thing. I'm so boring with brekkie.
Mm.
I'll go first because it's boring. I have oats with honey every day.
Oats with honey?
I might mix it up and have yogurt.
Not too bad.
Or fruit, like strawberries and stuff chucked in there. Also have, like you do, the frozen berries mix with your protein shakes sometimes.
You also know my brekkie because I've probably told you so many times what it is. Yeah, there you go. It's just like a smoothie with protein and berries and kiwi fruit and spinach and oats. Great. Yum.
I'm pretty sure Carbon has something similar to that. I always see him making...
kale.
Yeah, just like this wombo combo, absolute juiced smoothie that makes him an insanely simple.
The mean green smoothie machine.
I'm very boring as well. I just have cereal. I've always gone for all bran.
All bran. That is actually the most boring cereal. Congratulations.
Well, no, I'll tell you why. Because when I was younger, when I was playing a lot of sport in high school, I went to a dietitian. They told me I wasn't getting enough fiber intake. Okay. So they told me I was not like subscribed, but they were pretty much like, you should be having this if you want to, like, you know, have enough nutrients and yada yada yada. So I'd always have that and always have a banana for after school sports and made a life difference. So I've just stuck with it since. Consistency is key.
Well, Kitty, unfortunately, we don't have time to listen to your answer. So we'll get that next week or tomorrow. Okay, I just got told we got time now. Tell us, what's your breakfast?
I'm pretty boring as well. I think you should have honestly skipped me because every time I eat breakfast, I just get a toast. I toast it in the toaster, obviously, because that's what toasters do. I get a piece of bread, sorry. And then I put some butter on it, and then I eat it. That's my breakfast.
Easy. I feel like they're all pretty basic, good, scrum-diddly-umptious brekkies. And that's it for Menulog Mealtime. It's time for game number 2. Let's get on into it. Let's talk peace first. Skimmy, tell me why this team's going to get a fatty dub today.
Because they have 2 AD carries in the bot lane that are insane at both support and at AD carry. They just showcase that, hey, we're going to stomp a team in 25 minutes. They got it done. They weren't lying. Guncrab means what he says. He plays a mean Yasuo at the same time as well, and it looked really, really good. So I'm just really excited to see the team fire on all cylinders because a lot of us put them as very highly ranked, given the return of some of these superstars to a team that should be very familiar and comfortable with one another. Hasn't always worked, but when it does, they look impenetrable. So if we're talking about crunch time for some of these teams, right, with only 1 round robin remaining, you'd certainly be saying that, you know, Peace should be in the running now of it's no longer a fluke or no longer like a 1-1 or how do I feel today kind of argument. More so, we are the team to beat. We're next champion for a reason. Yeah,
a team that needs to get running or get in the running, you know, get on a treadmill or something, try to pick up some pace here is actually Gravitas because they're 0-13. They're still looking for that first W. Who knows if that's going to be happening today? But let me tell you, Toppy last week tried his hard diddly hard out to really make that happen on the Nasus Rusty.
Yeah, he did. I'm caught up on you saying heart like Ned Flanders, but Toppy did his best. He had the counter matchup. He played really well. Darjung in mid lane got solo kills as well in the Silas versus Corki matchup, and there was hope for Gravitas. And then they made a snap decision in a team fight call that just completely wiped them. And any semblance of a lead or piece of control that they had was completely wiped off the face of the earth. And that's the tragedy that we're really seeing from Gravitas so far, where, like, again, what they've said is that their mid to late game transition has been their weakest. Well, we saw that really in full effect.
Yeah, it's one of these things as well. Last time both teams went head-to-head, of course, Peace took the W. And I believe it was when we first started to see this Sedge meta, like, really creep in. So Toppy was put on the Sedge patrol. Lenia, it's another one of these games where we saw him play the Udyr and he didn't have much impact. Although I'm looking at the scoreboard there and he actually had looks like the most impact in this game out of the rest of the team.
Well, this is a super interesting game because I remember this is when Cheon came back and he got his like Justice for split 1, so he had his redemption arc. But this is a game where they basically passively scaled. It was like 9 kills in 30 minutes or something crazy. The game was like pretty much dead even for like 26, 27 minutes. Then one big team fight happened, respawn time is so too long. It's like, the better mechanical team just wins. So I'm hoping for something a little bit different this time rather than a 30-minute roll the dice. Yeah,
a bit of a scale fest, maybe. It feels like Gravitas there. Usually, look, get involved in a little bit of earlier first blood, you know, old De Jong in mid. Man's been pretty good on the solo kill leaderboard. I feel like, you know, over the last 2 splits now, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of eyes on this sort of mid matchup to see how he fares.
I mean, that's true. I also think that in general, being able to throw something early at Peace is really important for keeping them down, because if they get calm, if they get consistent and what they want, then they really do look unbeatable. So you have to be able to do something aggressive early, and if that is solo kills in lane, fair enough.
Yeah.
If that's invades in jungle using Lenia, that also is viable.
Certainly is. Now, are you a Nasus enthusiast?
Not particularly, but I like the person who played it.
Yeah,
I love
true.
Susan.
Fortunately, we've got him on the line. We have Toppy here, who is a big Nasus enthusiast. Toppy, tell us, why did that become so short-lived last week? Why didn't you get to scale?
I think we entered the game just a little bit in bot lane, but we can't do that every week. So, I mean, not just bot lane, every lane. So, like nothing really out of the ordinary, but this week will be different. Review.
I wouldn't say every lane, because you did get some solo bowlers against Paprise's Kale, where you did extremely good on that Nasus, where you looked unbeatable in particular. So do you want to tell us why you decided to pick Nasus into Kale? Because it looked really, really good, and will we see more of it?
I'm going to be brutally honest. I'd never played Nasus this season before that game, and then pre-draft, Shen's talking to me, he's like, oh, what are you going to pick if he picks Kale? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe Nah, maybe Tryndamere. He's like, bro, LPL's playing Nasus. I was like, oh, okay. So we went practice 2, did like 5 1v1s, and then we said, all right, Nasus is ready for the game.
True. That's a quick turnaround. I like that Gravitas, they work fast. You know, that's really the work ethic there.
Choppy.
Now, look, going into Peace today, you got arguably a harder affair with Tien, depending on which Tien joins the game. Are you prepared for this, man?
Yeah, I mean, prepared as I can be. I'd say, like, we've done a bit of prep. I know he's been picking some new tech, like the Shyvana, so I got a couple picks into things like that. But I'm, pretty confident for today. Today's the win. Trust.
Very good.
Trust. That's great to hear, Toppy. I'm going to let you go and have you prepare for your game, and thanks for joining in for tonight's interview.
No worries. Thanks, Kitty. Thanks, Mac. See you guys.
Peace. I mean, Gravitas. Glory is what I meant to say, not peace.
Yeah, can't mix them up.
Yeah, don't want to, it's a bit topsy-turvy. Anyway, Dare fan vote time. Get your points in. Tell me how you think this one's going to go, and we'll bring it up during the game and see how it all goes. Twitch polls up where? Yep.
Wait,
there.
What's
I've taught them
I
all.
was off camera.
Yep. Oh, yep. Beautiful. Right there. Beautiful. Up that direction. Awesome. Get them in. Our predictions. Let's have a look at how we think this one's going to go. Any Grav believers? Not just yet. So we're either going to win together or die together and go to another L. Who knows?
Die. What?
I said
or lose.
Win together. It's like gladiators into battle.
Okay, there is no losing. That's fair.
What's that copy paste? It's like, it's just a game. It's such a weak mentality. Blah, 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 blah. So I can see why you say it's not just a loss.
Yep.
It's death.
It's death.
Death of the soul.
In the rift. But we respawn, depending on the time of the game. We'll come back.
Gamers don't die, they respawn.
It's true. It's true. We are respawn.
Wow, the graphics are so good in IRL.
Jeez.
Nice.
Anyway, Skimmy, it's yarn time. Tell me, if
Yes,
Gravitas are going to win this, who's it through? How's it happen?
Well, that handsome man on your screen just then, he's going to go back into practice tool. He's going to actually unlock Nyla, even though it's not available. He's going to actually play it in this game today.
No,
play it in
it's
top lane.
actually Neela.
Oh, well, I've just
Wait,
called Nyla.
actually?
Yeah, because every Australian on planet Earth is going to say Nyla until
But I
they're
thought it was
told
like
it's
As an
Nyla,
I.
like the River
Yep.
Niles.
I got in
Well,
this
there you
argument
go.
already with my friends. I had to go
Okay.
onto the champion spotlight. It's
So
Neela.
we're going to start again. So he's going to load into practice tool, and he's just going to play Vladimir or something. Just 1v9, turbo stomp, sanguine pool, get it done. It's going to be winter, but he's still jumping in the swimming pool, mate.
It's true. Winter is when cold showers are the hardest, and it's good for your skin, for your blood flow, for every. You're moving. Are you agreeing, or do you want to speak?
I have another point.
Very good.
I
like
think
to hear it.
if Gravitas can get so ahead in their early game, because their early game is probably the best characteristic they have, if they get so ahead in early game where they can afford to throw maybe 5 team fights in a row and still be ahead, like that's how ahead I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's the way Gravitas pick up their first win. If they just giga stomp early game against Peace, and that's obviously Peace's weakness, their early game.
A Poggers narrative. Let's see if it unfolds exactly as you put it, because Champ Select is ready for game number 2. Let's jump on in to this one.
Well, let's see what narrative actually does take place, because...
far ahead is 5 team fights. It'd be like 15k.
Well, I tell you what,
Maybe
that's certainly a case of
a
you
lot
just
of
drafting a full wombo combo, playing from 10k
Marathon
down
now.
and still winning. Don't know if that will be the case, but Peace will certainly say, first pick Zeri, left up and available, easy.
Yeah, I'll be happy to lock that one in. Of course, the Yuumi is going to be banned, though. So banned by them does mean that they won't have the perfect 2v2 thereafter. We have seen Zeris with Lulus, so I wouldn't be too surprised there. Going for the Zeri, you're often seeing, I feel like it's the Twitch is your standard pick into a Zeri. This time around, it is going to be Kalista. Now, Kalista works really nicely with aggressive supports that want to be going forwards.
That's looking like it right there.
Amumu is looking like an aggressive support that likes moving forwards. It also means that if you make a mistake as Amumu, you can be pulled back to safety. So this is one of those combos that works quite nicely. But small caveat there is that Piglet being new to the role, being new to playing support, kind of throwing a lot of curveballs at him here in terms of difficulty. But is, of course, an AD player, so knows how the Kalista thinks. We'll see how he puts himself into the mind of the Amumu.
I'll tell you what, they had to put themselves into the mind of what is S++, maybe a few more plus tiers, because they got themselves a Zeri and a Seraphine in the initial 2 here from Peace, which for them must just be monumental. Question becomes, though, where would this go? What if they go for a Brom straight away, then
That just shows everything, doesn't it?
we've just got a Seraphine mid.
I don't think we've seen many, if any, Seraphine supports, to be fair. Usually it'll be picked as like a flex between AD and mid. Very rarely, I would say, in comparison to those two roles where you see it flex towards a support position. But Braum going to be locked in here. I feel like this is just reactive to seeing a Kalista to seeing a Amumu. You can go the Guardian, and Kalista, if you get hit by a concussive blows, you're just stuck. You just actually are slowed and about to get stunned by the Zeri, who can lock you down very quickly in combo with Braum. But still, I'm personally not a fan of locking in Braum early in a draft. It feels quite silly. You just have Braum, congratulations, but there might be a champion of higher priority there, such as a jungle pick right now going into your 4-5 bans. So with that in mind, right, Wukong gone, no jungler picked yet. Really does open the pool to be quite potentially crazy. At least it does have a deep enough champion pool to kind of make anything work. But like, you've still got the Viego, you've still got the Volibear, and you've still got the Trundle, perhaps, if you want it also.
Play pretty much anything at the moment. Has been quite keen for those Belveths as well. Bear in mind that was his last game up against Pentanet. It looked phenomenal. Paired with a Sejuani top.
Still quite pickable here.
Certainly is.
The combo in its entirety, as well as working nicely with a Braum. I've always thought that Braum Sejuani is a dangerous combo, let alone Braum Sejuani Belveth, and then having a Seraphine to protect you.
I have played the Sejuani and the Braum together a few weeks back, actually up against Mammoth, so whether or not they decide to run it back, even if that is let through. So the Belveth has been banned. Same with the GP. Response here from Peace is to also look to target those junglers, it would seem, with a Viego and what else? An Ari. Okay, so really looking to try and target the comfort for Dajong.
I'm wondering if we'll have something like a Lissandra from Appy with a carry jungle still. Just because Seraphine Zeri compositions, you really want to have some kind of like early damage bridging point for the Zeri to be relevant. It may just be that Tien actually gets to play the carry this time around. We'll see.
So now we need Diana and Yasuo. And
yeah, true, actually.
happy days, because that's our first Diana of the split, I'm pretty sure. We've been begging for it. AP junglers have been very, very rare. Good to see.
I mean, you really picking Diana without the Yasuo would be quite confusing, so... I know that I misspoke and said Appy Lissandra, obviously it is the Seraphine, but this is still what I was after towards jungle role, right? Something that's very aggressive early that helps to compensate for the scaling of both the mid, both the AD carry roles. And now for top lane, the only difficulty is that you're blind picking and Toppy does have some counter picks.
Okay,
but
it's Tien.
We said we wanted to carry. Just do it, huh?
It's the Tien
Just
show.
do it.
He is that rhythm player. And, well, we have certainly laid down the gauntlet if that Yasuo is locked in, which we'd love to see. It's with a Diana. It has to be, and it will. So we've got ourselves a very, very interesting draft with a lot of picks that are, one, super meta, super comfort, but super pop-off.
The only difficulty that I think that TN will run into and why I was hesitant to see him lock in a carry counter pick here, Skimmy, is because Diana Yasuo can just walk top lane. And if you remember, there was a game in Split 1 from PGG. They just perma-ganked top off cooldown, and it was like a 6-0 Yasuo just putting Pieces carry top laner in the bin. I would not be shocked to see that again, right? Like, I really think that one of the best ways to beat Peace here is Appy's not on a carry champion. Violet's just trying to scale. Put TN behind early, give Toppy a win condition, give yourself a team fight win condition as well, and Heralds to play around. That's what their composition does. Gravitas, I think they've given themselves everything they possibly can in terms of compositions to try and win the game. Easy in terms of execution. Dyna presses are, you all follow up. Movement presses are, you can all follow up. But Pieces comp is terrifying if they get going.
If they can get going, which they have done in the past, right? There was a time back in Split 1, right, where they had a fair few games on the run where they were just playing carry performances where a comp would flourish from ahead but look ever so bad from behind, and another argument perhaps to be made here today. But I think it springs to the point of what we want to see from Gravitas, right? If you want simplicity, if you want easy access, you want easy shot calling, I mean, how much easier can it get than a case of, you know, there's the Curse of the Sad Mummy, there's a Moonfall, there's a Gnar into the wall, yeah, just full-on wombo combo.
I mean, without a doubt, you can't ask for much more than a wombo, right? In terms of being able to execute on a game. But the individual skill that exists in Pieces, not just players, but champions, can actually handle it somewhat well. There's going to be a couple of interactions that we'll look at when we get into the game as well. But like, for example, if Dyna goes in and Lisa's ready, he can use the ultimate, right? Can sweep them away, can completely disperse the team fight combo as it comes out. Seraphine's built for disengage. Braum is built for disengage. And Riven can find some crazy carry flank angles. And Callisto won't get to play League of Legends if the rest of Gravitas is going forwards. So there are things to consider here when it comes to execution, when it comes to play. And we know that Peace are good enough players to make any composition work, even if they have the harder to execute draft.
That they certainly can, and we'll get to see what they can do in this game. Peace harder for win to end week 6, and Gravitas still searching. Winless at the moment, but hoping that this draft here is the winning recipe to get the ball rolling. Well, let's load into this game, the second one of the night, and with that, let's check in with another coach. It's Mystic on the line, mate. How are we?
Doing well. How about yourself, lads?
Good. Excited for another day, obviously, which is always the best part of an LCO week. But I have to say, I mean, having now a bit of a chance to reflect on last week's game against Mammoth, you know, what were those major lessons, sort of takeaways of how well it worked in the early, but sort of the end result too?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same issues we've been having. Right? It's our mid-game decision-making's got to be better, right? Especially in terms of macro and making sure we're picking the right fights. It's multiple games now where we've gotten out to a pretty decent start and just thrown it away with some poor decision-making in the mid-game.
Yeah, well, talk to me about this draft then, because obviously you've come out the gate swinging. Another Seraphine, two in a row now from two different teams, but are you happy with what you've got? Because you've clearly drafted a very explosive team comp that allows you just to come together and just try and land a bigger punch than Peace can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when we were doing our prep, we knew that we've been showing pretty solid early games, so we're like, yeah, we like what the Callisto movement provides, and then yeah, we figured, you know what, well, why not just hit him where it hurts and just run straight at him from that point on. So.
Yeah, perfect. All right, mate. Well, we're going to crack on into this game, and I'm really hoping that this is the winning formula, the one that gets the ball rolling, get you that first up.
Appreciate it, lads. Have a good one.
There you have it. So this time, out of an interview, into a pause. No word as to what it is yet, but it shouldn't be too far away.
One of the rare circumstances we can actually talk about an early game without a coach interview.
That's true.
Potentially jeopardizing a first blood. Not going to be seen this time around. And we'll get into the game. We can talk about what happened at level 1 during that interview just prior to the pause. But a lot of early movements, a lot of 5v5 stuff starting the game out extremely early there. But nevertheless, no kills, no actual combat required. Just a lot of dancing for wards. Did you see, by the way, just how comfy Appy looked?
I wasn't paying attention, no.
Look at him.
Yeah. I feel like that is his winning sweater, isn't it? I feel like that's what he's always wearing on game day.
That's comfort. It just looks comfortable. No amount of pixels will make you think otherwise. And then Violet's like, is it the Motorola man or something? The dude that's like a bunch of tires. It's like bundled because he's got his jumper underneath.
Jumpers, jackets, the whole works. He's getting comfy, getting toasty, and getting himself strapped in here as we load back into the rift. So, as you mentioned, it looked like it was like a 5-man formation.
Yeah, so one big thing that sticks out to me is that, first of all, Gunkrab doesn't start Sweeper for the invade, and then doesn't switch to Sweeper after placing the wards. So now he's just starting with that on cooldown, unable to deny vision from his opponents. Gravitas get to just face check him, essentially, right? And see if someone's there. They actually switch over to Sweeper for both their jungle and AD to clear out those wards if they wanted to contest the blue buff at level 1. So they had an advantage there, potentially. But it seems like what we've missed, of course, is that they opt out of that.
Yeah.
They will instead choose to just place a ward at the enemy blue buff, which does admittedly grant extremely limited vision if Lisa is just going to be full clearing on red side. And instead, he is going to go straight from his red to the enemy blue. And just, it seems like
That's
just by a
clutch.
fraction, that may have just dodged the vision.
Milliseconds, unbelievable timing. Certainly a chance worth taking, and Lisa's snuck himself in there. Now Lenny is parving towards bot to aim for that blue buff now. He's going to start with the Wolves first.
Yeah, he's just doing a full clear. He's not going to know that this is happening. Lisa from the Gromp will get level 3. Knows the blue buff is there, so I feel like he's done Gromp to try and actually wait for this blue to be hit.
Just waiting out of vision right now, as you can see.
I mean, he has the choice, right? He could go to either camp. Lenny is just getting away with a blue buff take here with no pressure. Honestly, if you're Lenia, you see Gromp's gone. Smite battle.
Okay, smite fight, here we go. It has been won by Lenia at the moment. The fight could potentially break out. Pot shot so far. He's going to jump on in, and that's a case of which bot lane can rotate first. Gravitas is here. They're here to try and run at Lisa, who is completely compromised.
Oh,
he's
Lisa.
flashed, but where to? He needs to get a kill to try and make that flash worth something, and he's knocked down Lenia, who's got that shield, and that's first blood for Thomas Shen.
One heck of a flash from Lisa. He just flashes thinking he wants to be the blue buff for a living. I mean, where are you going, man?
Dodge the bandage toss, do a pose, cosplay the blue buff, and die.
I dodged it, though.
That worth.
Just hit the bulldog flex.
yeah.
It's, unfortunately, you're still playing the game. But okay, so Gravitas. I mean, that felt like a series of very odd plays, you know? If Peace are going to play for the blue buff first, you probably want to be there to contest before the blue buff goes, so perhaps just mistimes it. It felt like he mistimed by like about a second. And is really, really punished for it by just committing to the fight. Lenia with no camps to take yet, though, on the top side of the map. Level 3 waiting for those Krugs to respawn. Does still have, admittedly, limited jungle camps to look at. Has to still park Krugs down to the Raptors when they spawn again. And this does leave a full half side of the map for Lisa to clear and to be able to protect team.
Yep, certainly can see that Lenia is on that top half of the map.
He's going to go the Raptors.
He's going to go for another invade. Obviously, we know that those Raptors do not exist. They've already been taken. They're already gone.
But even resetting the timer here and placing a ward, he knows that the next camp is going to be those Raptors, has the read on it. Is down a level and no flash. Neither jungler has flash.
He just waits. He just waits.
Has first move from mid, but that is a fresh reset Darjung.
In they go. Lenia in trouble. Darjung needs to jump across the ward. He's going to watch his jungler fall on down. Lenia now copping a bit of a beating. He's forced to run away. He doesn't have a flash. He doesn't have a chance. Darjung now might be the recipient of a second kill, but that wind wall is just enough to prevent the route for the uptime for Xin.
Gunkrab's dead.
Okay.
Brahms died bot lane in a 2v2. We'll have to see how that happens. Thomas Shen, of course, having a red buff does help that out. But mid, that skirmish 2v2, I mean, again, you can see what Lisa's doing, but in a level disadvantage, quite simply has a mid laner there to contribute. And Darjung, if he wanted to get into that fight, which perhaps he could have, might have needed to flash the wall and really just said, you're dead, right? Like, I am not here to protect this. Piglet will hit his Q. Braum does get the door up to deny a lot of damage. But a second Q hits. Piglet just clutches it.
It's a huge rend
I mean,
afterwards.
that's just massive clutch.
Has to be well done, utilising the 2 charges. And getting a kill. And it's straight 2v2. You don't see that often. Thomas Shen now on a Kalista pick designed to try and win lane. 2-0.
Darjung going to suck up to his jungler and say, that's my bad. You can have Scuttle. I've leashed for you. King. Toppy's ulted.
Toppy has ulted topside. Both find themselves worse for wear. Anything much more is going to come of it, though.
And of course, compared to something like the Camille, does have a lot less sustain compared to the matchup that we saw last game. Riven, you want to be able to shield the damage if possible, but you don't have life steal. and you tend to rush ability haste as fast as possible to cycle your abilities faster. Notification goes, oh, top.
Okay.
There he goes.
Well, he doesn't have sustain, but he has skills, and that expression was phenomenal.
That was Riven without Ignite, Skimmy.
He just got it done. Flash and a TP. No combat summons needed.
I mean, hopefully we get to see that solo kill as well, because Toppy dies with Flash up. Must have just been a really quick combo from Tien.
Bit of box gaming.
Yeah.
We're just trading emotes in the bot lane now between Violet and Piglet. Let's run it back top, so what happens here?
Tien will have to... Yeah, it does hit a pretty nice combo there. You didn't even see him activate the ult. That's how smooth he was.
Mid-air.
I don't know if that's a skin diff, but like I didn't even see him activate it. That's how clean he was. Riven does have, like, and she's one of the most complicated champions for anyone to learn because there's animation cancelling left, right, and center, as well as ability animation cancelling. So you can press R while using E and there's no animation really, or there's no delay. It is just a smooth ability double up. Very hard to see with that skin, however.
Demonstrating his proficiency. So there's a lot of mastery on that champion, and one we always get excited to see. Lisa's just going to poke his head in. Very close to level 6. They're going to try and trim that one to help out Appy, but then not be too far away from the magical number 6 himself. The bot lane of Gravitas have just tucked themselves into that bush, realizing that the gank is no longer on. Appy well too protected underneath his own turret.
Lenny are going to be spotted here, as is Piglet if he keeps walking. The answer is absolutely. They'll clear out vision around the Herald. 8 minutes in the game as it spawns. Are going to kick this one off. Thomas Shen sitting pretty in his 1v2 presently. Of course, being level 6 as a Callista means nothing when you don't have anyone nearby. But he has got Cleanse for the Braum passive stun and for the exhaust if they were to try and dive. And it's not really a diving 2v2 down there in bottom lane. I think the fact that Lanier is 6th and that the Amumu was free on the map does mean that that's a free Herald for them piece. I don't think care too much about the contest. What they don't know is that Piglet's very fast reset, knowing that they're not going to fight. We'll see Lisa doing this blue.
Yeah, but that's all they will see, is the fact that it's gone. You can't contest that one. Nobody was in the area to try and back that one up. Lenny had already gone back to base, having just taken that first Herald.
Yeah. Well, true, though, it does help Lanier with his deployment from base. He knows that the blue buff's not going to be there. And it deters a dive bottom, where the Xin Zhao is essentially needed if they want to try and take out Thomas Shen, especially a 2-0 Callista with a shutdown bounty.
Vision on the underside of this mid lane here. Even a control ward right on Appy's position as well, if he wants to try and sneak his way in for a lane gank.
You know, we didn't really talk about this too much, but in terms of lane 1v1, Seraphine doesn't do a thing against Yasuo really at any point. This is one of the freest lanes a Yasuo could possibly get. You'll never be able to hit the double E to actually stun because a wind wall quite simply exists and you can react to it. So it is just about clearing the waves as best you can, just doing so safely, not really running the risk of dying. Letting a jungler get into play, which is exactly what happened, right? Peace play around Lisa. Appy just needs to coast and scale. And they need to make sure that Tien is, I would say, left unchecked. You know, that there's no just ganks going up there from Darjung and from Lenia, and Seraphine can force enough priority with Lisa hovering for that to happen.
Certainly there's obviously a fair bit of value we can get with that wing wall. A lot of projectiles on the side of Peace. They could look to try and start the fight on their terms. But this is the game we have at the moment. Obviously, the match of the week that we've highlighted is Dire Wolves up against Peace. That's to look forward to tomorrow. Two very informed teams looking to try and battle it out to keep themselves in the running for who could be the top two.
So here's the question. Gravitas, 10 minutes into this game, even gold. They have a fed ADC. In comparison, when you're looking at Mythic spike timings, you're expecting Thomas Shen to have that first. They have a Rift Herald that they can squash the eye on and play towards a lane. Can they successfully make a play towards bottom? Can they play towards the Drake with the Yasuo Diana combo? Can they use the Herald to bait turret plays while they go for that play? This wave bottom is building towards Gravitas' tower. They have priority in mid. They also have vision control in the river. Angles exist, Skibby. Will they use them?
There's an angle topside, Rusty. Toppy looking for a flash forward. He's hit the stun and he's hit the slam against the wall. It's a solo bolo either way now. We're even Stevens.
The bandage toss connecting bottom lane as well. Skirmish is happening left, right, and center. Toppy just a little bit too clean with it there. Hits a really nice hop W. Almost calling that the Biopanther tech because he was the one that introduced it to me. Fantastic solo kill from him and Tian.
Here comes Ushering. Looking for it. Lenia does have the National Tooth Rush. No mobility. Well, there come the Magical Footwear, as I say it. So a big power spike for them.
Piece
this
of
is what you want to see.
Can they dive before the reinforcements get here?
One plate is gone. Out goes the Bandage Toss. The two-man ultimate locking in place. Guncrab, he's the focus right now. Piglet's going to die first. Violet picks up that kill. Guncrab going to die to Ignite. I don't think so. Yes. Confirmed. Violet picks up a double. That's huge for him. Appy explodes into life by shutting down Dajong, who didn't get a chance to ult. Lenia never found a moonful angle. And yes, the Herald went off, but the kills went against them.
I mean, they straight up, the idea is exactly what we said they could do, right? They had a Herald to summon, they have a Diana Yasuo combo, they have a Kalista that could ult a Mumu in, and they have flashes everywhere. Dajong had his flash at the start of this fight. Piglet, well, Q, is afraid to ult, misses. Where's Lenia? He's knocked up by the Braum, and just chooses not to go in. If you're going to commit to the play, you have to commit as 5. And you have to go fast because you know their reinforcements are coming from mid and a teleport can come through from their dead top laner. And unfortunately for Gravitas, the idea was correct. The execution when they just rolled a nat 1.
Wasn't what you want to see. You need to certainly go in together.
You literally have to in together, Skimmy.
Didn't work out.
Even if it fails, I need you to in together.
Call it a corporate bonding, you know, one of those meetings. Sure. Why not? You know, you're just going out together, you're getting comfortable with one another. We lose together, it happens.
You've all got to show up on the squash court.
Certainly do. Certainly does feel a little bit disjointed, as you say. A lot of ultimates, a lot of key abilities still up and available in that dive attempt. Gravitas still do have the gold lead, even by a fragile margin. He's somebody to certainly celebrate at this point.
I mean, that and the good news is they did the correct play in my mind, right? It's just the execution that failed. So that's the kind of thing you can sandbox and discuss. And once you know your role's better. Piglet new to his role. I mean, shouldn't be afraid to flash ult straight away. Shouldn't be afraid to not hesitate. Lenia should not be afraid to flash in himself, right? But these are players that are either new to their role or new to competitive that do need time.
Oh, here we go. The win wasn't available, so the on-call goes out, but now he's got minions to dash away too.
He's got reinforcements
as Gravitas looked him out, their assault, in they go, and it's looking ever so clean. Gold, mid-animation, Appy in trouble, but they find him. They take out Dajong. Yes, it's a 1-for-1, but Pisa stoked they answer back with at least something.
Yeah, Tomashen will help out. A good amount of damage comes down. Dajong plays really nicely, actually. Just unfortunately tanks about 2 turret shots, which makes it very easy for Lisa to get that trade off. They're now collapsing towards bot lane. Lenia does have the ult, but no Yasuo to combo with. Violet with both summoners up.
No vision, they missed everything, but in he goes. He doesn't use the flash just yet. They're looking for the kill, but Violet just turns around. He's got the ultimate. Lightning Storm is there. He's got a flash and they cleanse, but under no pressure to ever burn it. Piglet jumps in, removes Guncramp from the equation. Violet just answers back and says it's a little bit free. I'm looking at a 1v3 right now. The rain set, can he find it? Thomas Shen do it! A flash forward and a shutdown. You can die for the calls, because that was clean.
Yeah, Tomashen will take those any day to make sure that Violet goes down and cannot just get out cleanly. Body blocks for Piglet as well, and Gravitas makes something positive work. Imagine how different this game looks if that first dive was successful and then that happens afterwards. Peace will be able to get themselves the Herald unless Lenia and Dajong can get into the mix, but they don't have their combo and they will just be a little bit too late.
That's not going to stop them though, Rusty. They're going to entertain the idea, even as much as just saying, Lisa, you're under threat. You've got to flash away. So you've got the Herald, but now you're disengaged. Is not as clean as it could have been. What's worth noting, at least for me in the bot lane, was the AD carry differences, right? Violet actually burned through the shield bow, whereas Tomashen's only now just purchased it.
Yeah, they had an item difference, but still the skirmish worked out pretty nicely for them. And again with the mid skirmish, right? There was a couple of mistakes here, a couple of hiccups from Gravitas. This is so close to being a significantly cleaner game from them, from top to toe. But just, you know, as crunch time comes, it's really just Tomashen that has been consistently performing at his best, kiting around these team fights as the Kalista putting in work.
Certainly a setup right now as a battle between these two AD carries to see which one can perform better. Tomashen's going for it. Okay, just take it. Just do it. Work your magic, Tomashen. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Just give it to him. Piglet here to hover if Lisa wants to go for the engage. Would probably be met by an Amumu and regret it. So he's just going to catch the minions. Piglet would have to... I mean, he's posturing so aggressively, it makes you wonder what he's actually looking for. Because I don't think a dive is realistic. Nazin, who has ult. Lenny are now going to push forwards. They have got the Yasuo. And again, the combo is simple. We all know what we're looking for. We just need to see it connect.
Appy's terrified, right? The fact is he's gone for a crown as opposed to Leandre's. He just wants to survive that burst. That safeguard's going to be ever so important because his ultimate can certainly lay down a lot of control in these team fights, much like that Renata last game.
And Seraphine loves Leandre's as their mythic of choice. And the funny thing here is it's the only magic damage on their team, realistically, right? Maybe there's some there from Violet's kit, but Appy is the sole provider of magic damage. Means that you can very easily just build armor, as Lisa's found Poppy.
He has. Guncrab's here in the area as well. Nobody from Gravitas here to back him up, but soon to go Mega. Very hard to try and shut that one down. Also with Flash. I think they're just going to settle for a post-14 turret.
There, Herald just gets summoned. Drake's going to be sacrificed here as a transaction. Violet and Thomas Shen are farming mid, but we all know what happens in this 1v1. We just witnessed it live.
He's so strong now. He just went back to base, Rusty, and picked up a Rage Blade. I mean, this is potentially getting a second headbutt.
Drake's just taking so long to do, right? But Gravitas have moved towards top. Poppy, this is bold if he considers that, right? Knowing that Diana is confirmed to not be on this side of the map. No Heralds, no objective cross-map trade, but the second charge in top lane is really nice. Just deterred by the rest of Gravitas. You highlighted the item difference between ADCs. I mean, that's huge for having control of mid if they're isolated in a 1v1. The tools are there, and I refuse to get excited until I see it converted in a mid-game team fight. I will not. But the tools are there.
Hold our horses for a little bit longer. 18 minutes, and the Magic started to wear away last time. For back-to-back games now, Gravitas are giving us a little bit more to fight for. They said in the past, right up against Peace. This has been a team that we've stylistically fared pretty well against. They actually got their head-to-head 2-1 in split one. And they'll be hoping that the Magic works in their favor once again. What a scenario we got ourselves set up here for.
Certainly is. Now, the Zeri will still scale really nicely into this game. Going to have a pretty difficult time team fighting in regards to execution, just because it's very movement speed, kite heavy, into a combo that has high crowd control and fairly long areas of influence and range with that engage, right? The Amuma ultimate needing to be constantly respected or cleansed at all times. Diana ult having to be flashed or you just die. Makes it very difficult to actually execute those team fights, but if left unchecked, can run it rampant.
Side lane tier 1's just gone for free, top and bottom. There's a lot of emphasis played towards top side to make sure Dajun could get that one for free, but it does mean that Thomas Shen had to show a bit of restraint here in the mid lane despite his item advantage.
Seraph's also rushed here by Appy. Doesn't opt into the Zonias, leaves it at the stopwatch and goes straight for the Seraphs. Interesting itemization choice. You very rarely do see that one. Appy seems to enjoy copying builds, however, from some of the best players in the world. Last time we questioned it to see why he built it. He said Xiaohu does this all the time on Lissandra.
Horizon focus for Lissandra.
Yeah, with his Horizon focus. You have to assume he's got his reasons.
Can't question the man.
Tian with a wide flank. Has obviously been spotted multiple times, but
time to beatbox. Let's lay down the combo. In they go. Tian looking for it so far, trying to dance around his wind wall as he hits the last breath and sounds, oh, I'm in a 1v3. This is not fair. Naked a 1v4 as Lisa's just waiting in the wings. Not going to get himself an assist, but they will give the kill across to Appy.
The trade is going to be for the mid lane outer turret though, so I think in reality Dajun doesn't care. As long as they don't die, Lisa will be spotted with a very wide flank. Control ward distraction a little bit too powerful, and the rest of Peace not really there at the same time as Lisa to try and collapse on that one. So maybe the top lane inner turret can still be taken here by Peace, and I think that still becomes a very worthwhile trade as called Pinglet.
Yeah, when becomes lightning, out they go. Fate's Call straight away burnt. They just trade ults.
Yeah, but Braum ult wasn't necessary once the stun came through. You just accept the Kalista ult and you're happy with that trade. Ends up just becoming an ult trade, so even then, Thomas Shen pretty happy. However, the health missing from Piglet is still a factor in his ability to stay on the map. And that top lane inner turret will stand, with Peace putting more of their efforts and emphasis towards mid lane. And the game is really quietened down. No entry points to be seen from Gravitas with this Diana Yasuo. In fact, we've only seen the Yasuo Diana side lane. And I think the game plan is quite simple, right? You have a Kalista, you have a fed Kalista, you play around that.
For sure.
You play around objectives right now because they have an Infernal Soul to play for as well, and the third Drake for them, and the potential Soul point up in a minute. You don't want to waste your ultimates or summoner spells. You want to try and get picks, perhaps, from Peace prior to that, but it all comes down to what is up in 55 seconds.
Certainly farming safely, ensuring those cooldowns are up and available, still retaining that one item advantage because now Tomashin also has a Runan's Hurricane there. Sunfire actually going to be picked up by Lenier as well, another champion that can look to try and add that to the arsenal, where everyone just continues to get tankier by the second.
Yeah, may not be Blade of the Ruin King first, but Nash's Tooth does the same thing. We've seen plenty of tank Diana builds. Quite gross, to be honest, with how much damage comes out just from your raw auto attack DPS, and then you've got Yasuo for a combo who does insane damage anyway, so you just need to be a tank, need to soak and deal duelist damage.
Toppy's not there, but he can TP in now. That's what he's doing. Tomashin seems to be the focus
Menulog
right there, but he
huge.
has cleanse. He's looking to try and take down some damage. Sidesteps out that Glacial Fissure, and now Guncrab's in trouble. The on-call goes out, charms 3 members, but there's any follow-up. Lenier jumps in, Moonfall onto 2. Peace are trying to run back. Lisa comes in for the flank, but he's completely untouched. Violet can't answer back, and Gravitas press forward in the mid lane. Tomashin's found another kill, removing the only source of ability power from Peace's roster. And a fadeaway from the Riven is not enough to stop Gravitas beelining to Baron.
And that's a 3-for-0 trade, Skimmy. They're going to go for Drake and Baron. Really need to be careful here, because if they overexert themselves, they've been spotted in the pit and they are low. You're expecting the trade from Peace is either contest the Baron or go to Drake, and they've found Piglet and Darjung here. You don't want to do too much at once. But huge team fight victory, resulting in a Baron for free, a 5,000 gold lead. And we're starting to get a little bit excited about Gravitas maybe getting their first win of the whole split.
I don't know what it is, what's in the water between these two teams, what always seems to work in this way, but there's something about this matchup. Gravitas are really answering back the call. A one team fight, a huge team fight, a perfect one at that. Let's run it back again.
And they just really hard forced with no real gank avenue. Again, Braum doesn't go forward. Seraphine doesn't go forward. You want them coming towards you to hit your best team fight, but they force onto a Kalista who has cleanse. They give an Amumu a 3-man ultimate, and then they try flanking, but Violet can't hit anybody because Diana just is a tank, right? Gets to soak that initial engage and look for the combo. We're in this situation where a team that can't win is playing against a team that refuses to win, and Gravitas have got themselves a 5k lead.
Certainly do, Rusty. And if you're talking about a wombo, well, I tell you what, the gods have smart on them today, and by giving them an Infernal Soul to play for. If you want damage, you want to pack a punch. There's no time for a Cloud Soul to land multiple ults. It's going to be that one decisive killer blow. And, well, sort of those hairs were raising in the back of my neck as soon as I saw Tomashin getting those 1v1s up against Violet.
Yeah, Tomashin's here to win today. That much is absolutely for certain.
Look how far ahead he is individually.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of control that they get on the map anytime that Tomashin is just dealing with Violet in the same lane, especially when you've got your Seraphine composition, right, which is reliant on having carries elsewhere in the team, especially when you have a Crown of the Shadow Queen Seraphine that needs carries elsewhere. Violet starting the game behind is devastating for their win conditions. Tien not really finding the angles that he's after. Hasn't been having the best showing. Did get a kill under turret and looking again.
Yeah, can they get a pick in the side lane? Look at the top here right now. The Gaunt Drinker. Oh, he's just dead before Mega, and that is flawless. Perfect shutdown for Peace to get excited about. Yes, you got Baron. There's only a minute really remaining now of that, and that has completely dismantled their mid lane push.
Yeah, the good news for Gravitas is they still have a default to the Infernal Soul that they can play for, but the Baron essentially just fizzles from this position. And Peace, notoriously, you will say, it's not good to have two carries sharing the same lane, but when one of those carries is the Seraphine, Violet can sit here against the Baron and farm every way for free and still get money. So yeah, they're going for a wide flank onto this Riven. Lots of mobility and the ability to jump the walls are still there for this Riven, so they're really dreaming. And ultimately, one play towards top lane, finding Toppy. Baron's done.
Yeah, Baron's gone. You look how much gold that really achieved for them. Not much at all. Certainly a denial more so than anything at this point in the game. There's certainly a creeping suspicion that Peace, if they can continue to try and break open and exploit those weaknesses in the side lanes.
I feel like if we were to say two teams of equal skill meet with this exact setup, that the red side always wins. I think that's just kind of how you would look at this game, right? So now we really have to draw to attention how Gravitas try and turn this advantage into an actual win. They have so many options, so many things to play towards. You can willingly give away an Infernal Drake for a Baron buff if the game slows down or draws out that much. You can play for the soul, you can look to set up vision and just pick piece off if they try and contest. They probably do want to prioritize the turn over the Drake, even though an Infernal Soul would be nice to have, but there's a chance they just flip.
I mean, the next 2 minutes now might be the most important of this game here for Thomas Shen. He's just completed a Randuin's, 4 completed items. I mean...
Yeah, Randuin's as well.
I mean, you're essentially becoming a bit like Vayne at this point.
But it's like what we said before, there's no magic damage on Pieces comp, right? Like, it is more facilitative in the items. There's a Rylai's, there's a Seraph's, yes, but it's not a hyper-scaling AP champion. Lisa caught.
Lisa certainly has been caught. And he's going to get a Mumu ulted as well. The entire team, bar Darjan, going to get encore upon as Seraphina's looking to try and lay down some damage of her own.
Huge combos. They actually will survive, and they will chunk out the health bars of both Lenia and Piglet. The Diana ultimate misses. He's still constantly pestering. There is sustain that is there from Appy, and Violet is full health. They even get the top lane inner turret objective bounty before the Drake comes up in 40 seconds. No Amumu ult, no Diana ultimate. Both have been wasted, and Seraphine clutches the survival there for Lisa. Which is really nicely done, by the way, into a Yasuo. It's very hard to get an ult angle, but was patient enough to wait for that win ball.
Will Gravitas be patient enough to try and set up accordingly for this Dragon Soul condition?
Toppy's just grouping Skimmy. Darjung.
He's given up on split pushing right now, doesn't want to answer back to the Riven tech. He's a bit impensed, just hiding away in the enemy blue buff. Thomas Shen does have Flashing Cleanse, so he does have a big focus on his head.
Darjung also has a Gromp to heal off at least a little bit, but is chunked out. They are looking. They are still considering. Piglet, no ultimate, makes this hard. Tian's got a flank, but he's been spotted. They are flipping this Drake.
They certainly are. Lisa's going to jump in, looking to try and lay down that fight right now. Tien jumps to the back line, uncontested, touches Thomas Shen. The Dragon, it's going to be stolen away. I don't believe it. Lisa's got that. Infernal Soul won't be up to play now. And now Lena just destroyed. A two-man kill for Tien. He's giving us a bit of a masterclass as has to play a Riven in this game. Violet gets a kill. He gets Retribution, but Thomas Shen is still alive. And he's got a double kill. He's got himself, rather, double sums being consumed. He's trying to fight his way out of this toxic situation. Guncrab's flashed across the wall back into that. He's got a life leech of a stolen red buff as well.
Red buff also gives a bit of health regeneration. He's going to start the recall, find himself Tien.
Oh, it's basically a battle of who can hop, skip, and jump a little bit better right now. Tien says, hang on a minute, I don't think I win this one. I need to blast Kun away. The Rend? Tickled him.
Not going to do too much damage, but I think there's a death stance there. You can see he's still chunking. Thomas Shen, someone help this man.
Oh, he needs the help. I mean,
he's still going.
He dashed in. He dashed in.
Jumped forwards.
He dashed in.
He's just padding his team fight stats. I cannot. Gravitas just can't buy a win. They were 5k up. They were threatening an Infernal Soul. They had so many options, and they chose the burger flip. In true Oceanic esports angles, they will lose the team fight on the burger flip. Baron now going to be started. Gravitas are going to redeploy the map. This time Piglet has his ultimate. They have a full combo. But can they stop the Baron?
Well, Tien is going to zone away all 3 members. He wants to hit that blast cone first of all and make sure that they can't look to try and jump into this one. Lenia doesn't have a flash, but he can look to try and crescent in. He's dashed to the red buff. The Baron is gone! And Lisa, once again, has secured themselves a crucial objective in this late game stage.
Suddenly Feast are winning.
They had a 5k gold lead to Gravitas, and now it's pieced up by 3.
We'll talk about robbery. I mean, we'll watch this fight one more time. Lenia hits a 2-man ultimate, is not Yasuo comboed. Xin Zhao is going to ult immediately and stop that from happening. Drake gets taken by Lisa. Tien hits a very wide flank, and no one has stopped Violet from attacking in this team fight. One of the biggest concerns you would have if you were Violet is, how do I gain access to the fight? Well, it helps if the Mega Nar's not on you. It helps if Amumu doesn't have ult. And it really helps if the Diana is just ulting the 2 tanks. Can't ask for much more.
Late games in peace, Rusty. They certainly do love to find themselves in
do.
a situation like this and say, oh, never in doubt.
You know what? They do like making the game as hard as possible for
Why not?
themselves before clutching a win, just to prove that they're built different.
Hyperbolic, chamber, practice, all in favor of those best of threes and those best of fives for playoffs.
Yeah, they're just modeling instances
Why
where they're
not?
losing, just in case they start losing in playoffs. You
Just
know?
testing.
No other teams prepared for this.
Stress testing.
Gravitas did so much wrong, though, in that last team fight. And it really hurts. It hurts. You get so excited for the what if. Last game we saw them play against Mammoth. They were winning lanes. They were getting solo kills, and the what if was strong. This game was even better. They were so far in the driver's seat. They just needed to convert one time, and they probably snowballed the whole game.
Just watching that Zeri W damage across the wall. I feel like adding crit on the wall guaranteed. It was just a mistake. I mean, look how much damage that it did. Vision, basically half your HP gone. Crazy.
700 damage off a W onto a Gnar. Armor still can be stacked by Gravitas, right? And there is still very limited magic damage, but at the same time, they're really starting to lose a bit of control in this game. Piglet looks for a bandage toss, but Lisa's just threatening mid lane during this.
Yeah.
And they're split. Gravitas, if you can catch them translating between lanes, you might have a chance. But every time you try and move, Zeri hits a W skimmy, and that's it.
It just hurts. I mean, Piglet has to go back to base unless he was banking on the fact that Tomashenko just literally say, you go ult in, and I'll ult you back out. The turrets are starting to fall on down as the Baron is still there for another 30 seconds. Another wave is going to come in, at least through the mid lane to try and crack open that one too. But they got their sights set on this bot inhibitor, and that's what they'll take. 2 would be the dream. But Gravitas have to find an angle.
Now just continuing to pressure this mid lane inhibitor should be... Oh, that was a massive Zeri W. Almost enough damage at the angles there for Peace to engage, and we spoke about this already. Their comp doesn't want to, but given the perfect opportunity, every team composition can engage.
And that's the difference between these 2 Baron buffs, right? The fact that the one that Gravitas got earlier was only 700 gold. This one gets themselves 4.5. Dajong is going to try and pick up a straggler right now. He's locked in place. Lisa misses the tornado. The bandage shot doesn't connect as well. They just turn around! And the zap! The zap from Azeri. Unbelievable. 3.5 items. It's beautiful. And this is it. This is going to be the ending. The writing on the wall. Linear jumps in with a moonfall to say, look what I can do. But there's no backup. There's no wombo. And there's no chance that Peace fall victim to this. They're inside your base. And Piglet, you've got nowhere to run or hide. You can try and run to a minion, but that won't help you because we're getting zoomed in. 1080p watching and Amumu fall on down. Or just
Never
flash,
mind. No, it's just going to flash away.
Okay.
Piglet's just better. Meanwhile, top laner's just going to duke it out while the Nexus is ending. Skimmy, but
yeah.
tell you what, they're going to continue to play like top lane is still where they are.
They certainly are. I mean, we're zoomed in right now as if we are the players. The point of view, we're no longer casting, we're no longer have God vision. We are witnessing the gods themselves in peace. Somehow, stressfully, winning it in the late game.
An extremely losable game for Peace. An extremely losable game. Yet they find a way. Somehow they flip at the Drake. They will deny the soul, and then at the same time, I mean, it's just, I've got nothing. I got nothing. They could, like, you can't give them more to win. You can't ask. You've got a wombo combo. You're ahead. You've got the soul point. You just need to do it. And then every time it came down to execution, Gravitas critically failed, and it just sucks.
I will say, though, it is starting to work more and more towards what they were mentioning in some of their content, right, about mid to late game. Because before we're saying, well, you need to have the early game, but that was probably the best early game they've ever had.
Yeah, and you did mention, you know, the critical failure to execute. I was so invested in the Gravitas dub there. We were sitting in there like, it's the day. It's happening. We're all going to lose our predictions, but I don't bloody care because Gravitas are going to get a win. And then there's that one team fight. What was it? An 8K gold swing. And we're probably going to see that in the graph after the highlights as well. But what a bloody turnaround from Peace. They just pretty much punished Gravitas for making one big mistake.
Yeah, the classic
clean.
oceanic burger flip at the third Dragon Soul point where they just put everything and every egg in the basket and they just mechanics max in the team fight where the better team just wins, and that's what happened for today. Peace came out on top after that extremely stressful team fight where me and Mac were jumping up and down because we actually thought Gravitas was going to win tonight because they had a pretty good early game, especially credits to Tomashen and Toppy for getting those solo kills in their lanes, where I wanted to highlight that that kill on Violet in the early game was actually quite significant because Thomas Shen was able to do a lot of things in these team fights because he wasn't getting locked down by Peace. And RP? Seraphine mid is actually quite a nuisance, although, okay, let's ignore the fact that Seraphine missed her ulti in this really important team fight. They still managed to come out on top because Tien was on the flank and he's just kind of ceasing everyone in that team fight as well.
They also, like, literally wombo combo to Braum Xin, and Xin had ult up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's, I mean, you just got to do the one thing right, which is hit the
time.
carry. And they managed to hit none of them.
Oh, have a look at this again, though. T-Shen, I think, like, one jump the wrong way seals his fate. And as you mentioned in the green room, Kitty, it was a big staggered death as well. So it was just, like, made things that little bit worse. Have a look at that. There was a, 5-6k gold lead in favor of Gravitas at that 25-minute mark, and it just shoots straight back the other way. We've had 2 of these already today, and I'm expecting some more.
I was talking in Twitch chat, and I believe it was Mystic. He actually told everyone that Thomas Shen wasn't the most confident on this Kalista pick, but undoubtedly he played the best on the entire team, and probably one of the better Kalistas that we've seen so far in the split.
Yeah, he looked really damn good on this champ pick, and we've said a fair few times, like, T-Shen, look, he's a pretty good ADC, but he's not, like, you wouldn't say he's a great ADC. But today, he really did look like one of those great ADCs, literally going one-on-one with Violet in the bot lane.
I mean, I'd say he's a team fight ADC, and that's always been where Thomas Shen shines. So this was one of those games where he was definitely set up to do his best when it came to a team fight comp. They engage on him, he gets to play team fights out his way. That is, like, peak Thomas Shen.
Well, trying to hit the high note. Kitty, can you hit a high note?
Oh, God, what are you doing?
Let's bring up into the interview. Oh no, someone save me from this segment.
Seraphine.
Take it away, Mac.
The
Save me.
Seraphine sings. She sings. Do you get it? Appy, you get it, right?
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolute genius. That's why you are the GOAT. Can you give me a...
Thanks.
Wait, what's the sound of goat, mate?
Okay, let's divert from this
anyway,
topic.
Yep.
So, Avi, congratulations on a really stressful game against Gravitas. You guys were so close. But tell me about the Seraphine mid, because we did see you build the Shattered Crown on Seraphine as the mythic, and just kind of elaborate why you decided to build this.
Because obviously they have Yasuo Diana, which is it's like really dangerous for Seraphine to play, and plus a Mumu. So like, but on the other hand, they don't really have a way to proc the crown item. But actually, I was like, I totally forgot I can build crown this game. But CN, I'm pretty sure the CN mentioned in the game says you should build crown because they can't proc it before team fights. I was like, yeah, I don't need Zhongyas. I probably just build crown, and yeah, that's the ideal.
Now, can you tell me how interested Lisa is in an early invade in getting that blue buff, because he was literally ride or die to get that first blue buff steal?
Yeah, I happy like he's trying to do that thing, because that was like the thing he lacked the most before. But yeah, I mean I'm like we all down to follow and then flip the coin and see if we win, I guess.
And
Like,
talking
not
about
much conversation about it. It's just if they say go, there we go.
True.
And talking about flipping coins, I believe you guys had the biggest flip at the Dragon Soul point where you guys came out on top. So what were the comms like, and what was kind of the goal going into that team fight before it started?
Oh, is that the one we won? Is the
Yes,
fight
it
we
was
won?
at Dragon.
Oh yeah, that was actually fight like lose or win just based on like that team fights, I guess. Like I would not say like we are confident winning that fight, but I don't know. We just won, so I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I missed my ulti, but we just won still.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up the game. You know, you missed your ult, still won the team fight, and did an 8k gold flip to bring it back into the game. Congratulations on the win, Appy. We'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Congrats, Appy.
Thanks. Thank you.
Always good to chat with the big man in mid who understood what I was trying to do to go into the interview. I know you're lost sometimes, Rusty.
Would
Skimmy,
you,
I know you don't hit high notes all the time.
No,
You're
would you say he's like one of the Zoomers? He understood the assignment?
Can we just go to a break instead of MVP? Like, I'm good.
I'm cool like
good
that.
to just.
I know what the kids talk about
I
these
need to
days.
get out of here.
If we did have to give a Dare MVP for that game, who gets it? Tian?
Tian or Lisa for me.
Yeah?
Lisa for his
Probably.
meaty ultimates to deny a lot of the crucial wombo, and then Smite steals the 50-50, or just Tian just being a demon on the Riven, flanking up a storm.
I reckon we give it to Tian. I reckon he had a pretty damn good time in top, was one of the first people to get those objectives and stayed alive a lot, which is better than a lot of the other Peace
Gonna
members
bust that
that
into
game.
karaoke.
Yep.
Could give it to the Drake
Staying
for
alive,
baiting in a
staying
fight.
alive.
Let's just
put
give
it up.
to Tian.
Don't
Yeah,
put it up. Just
Come
put
on.
it up.
Dare MVP for game number 2 of the
I'll be in
day
prison.
is Tian. What a great game from this man, 64%, and it's all top laners today getting the Dare Iced Coffee MVP. Let's see if that trend continues going into the final 2 games of the day, but this man did work to keep Peace in it on his pocket pick.
He was quite flashy on that Riven, especially under that first tier tower. He was able to get a solo kill against Toppy. So we do know that he is one of the OG Riven players from back in the OPL days where it's his pocket pick, and I'm glad that we get to see it again for tonight.
Yeah, always good to see the mechanics on the man, see what he's capable of. And I dare say it's good to see a 3rd game for tonight. But to get there, we've got to go to a break. Ladies and gents, don't go too far. On the other side of this, we got Chiefs, we got Kanga going blow for blow.
They are flipping this Drake.
They certainly are. Lisa's going to jump in, looking to try and lay down that fight right now. Tien jumps to the back line, uncontested, touches Thomas Shen. The Dragon, it's going to be stolen away. I don't believe it. Lisa's got that. Infernal Soul won't be up to play now, and now Lena just destroyed. A 2-man kill for Tien. He's giving us a bit of a masterclass as has to play a Riven in this game. Violet gets a kill. He gets retribution, but Thomas Shen is still alive.
Hey, look, menu bomb.
Yeah.
I might better have to evacuate here, guys. What's going on
Skinny,
here?
are you okay?
I'll solo cast.
It's the solo cast angle.
I got it covered.
Well, we can listen to a little bit of ASMR as I burn on down. My prediction is I might have to run away. I might just run off screen for a second and see what's going on. But
No worries.
On with the show. On with the show.
Yep. Just go see if it's a
Yeah,
drill.
safety first.
Unfortunately, it's going to be immediately dealt with.
Oh,
Bulldog.
the longest bandage toss I've ever seen. Baited with the package. They're inside that Lambs of Spite. There's the invulnerability, and there is the heal. Poltron exhausted, and now he's dead. The zap being flashed out of. Talk about this. Serenus finds his target, removes
Dragon's
Kissei,
gone.
who burnt the flash. The Dragon is still there, and Gudo's taking it. They've bought themselves a precious 5 minutes. Looks like they're going to win this one, but Arthur's going to walk into the area and try and smite it away. They're going to go for the fight now as a result, and Poltron's going to find that kill. Another stack for him. Lambs the Spider's there, waiting for the cooldown to try and jump across the wall, but look at Raze, who hits that lightning crash and then jumps across the wall to guarantee himself a double kill. The perfect player with the support to back him up is looking for a triple. Simon will give the Direwolf fans something to shout about. They got the Herald, they'll get a kill, but the Zeri is untouchable. That's that bounce toss, number 1. Not gonna find what's after.
There we go.
Number 2, flash. Oh, there's the curse. They're sad. They're knocked back, but they're dead. Kissei is gone. In comes Serenus on the flank, looking for a target, and a target he will find.
Not going to provide the greatest kill threat.
Looking for it one more time. Gun's going to land, the chains go out, the damage onto Yuri, who's going to look to try and fight back underneath the turret, pops the turret shot, actually wants the 1v2! And Yuri made that look so effortless.
This period of time that almost cheats tempo to deny the Drake is Jinx D.
Yeah, he's dead, he's gone. That was beautiful there from the bot lane of Mammoth. Now they still want to try and get a little bit more. The culling goes out, there's a wave, he flashes forward, Levis, what are you doing? It's a double kill for Voice.
Violet and Guncrab interviewing each other. Which player has the best fashion sense?
The fact that I can't think of one straight away, is it restricted in O's or can it be anyone? I don't know. I'm not very good at judging other people's fashion because I'm not too into that. I just wear a lot of like casual things.
I have a fashion question. Are you wearing two separate different socks?
Yeah.
Who on your team do you think has the best fashion sense?
I think Theon because, I don't know, he just looks like a Giga Chad. He just looks like the most fashionable and moldable kind of dude. He could pull off a lot of different fits, I guess. Has a lot of charisma and stuff. So, which player tilts you the most personally?
Non-pros in solo queue, I guess. I think they all tilt me. I don't have like a specific player that tilts me in solo queue, to be honest. Sum up your EU solo queue experience in 5 words.
How do I describe EU solo queue? Chatting, ego, funny, mute all. Yeah, I guess it's a bit contradictory because like everyone types so much. The mute all part is like to do with like whenever I wanted to try hard, I would just slash mute all. What was your favorite moment or memory from your time in NA?
I'd say my favorite memory of my time in NA was when we went K-barbecue, like the whole team. I don't think I was able to spend much time there, honestly, with my teammates. So I'd say the K-barbecue with my teammates and coaches were like the best time.
Was it because of the food or the experience?
Yeah, the food was really good. The Asian food there was like really good as well. So it was like a really nice experience.